Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're going to be strapping in for a deep dive into the future of sales.
Ooh, sounds exciting.
It is. Specifically, we're going to be talking about how to nail sales collaboration in 2025. I'm Ron, your guide for this journey.
And I'm Nova, happy to be here.
So Nova, we're talking the ultimate guide to sales collaboration in 2025. Why is this a must-read for sales and revenue leaders today?
It's interesting because the sales landscape is changing faster than ever,
Yeah,
you know? And we're in the middle of this huge digital transformation, so many new tools and tons of data available.
absolutely.
But having all the tools and data in the world won't help you if your teams aren't working together seamlessly.
I see. So it's not just about having the shiniest new CRM or the coolest AI-powered analytics platform. It's how you use those tools together.
Exactly. Collaboration is key to making sense of all this change.
Yeah.
And, unlocking the true potential of your tech stack. It's all about creating a sales organization that's more customer-centric and ultimately more successful.
So let's unpack what sales collaboration really means in this new world. I mean, it's not just salespeople chatting by the water cooler, right?
Right. It's so much more than that. We're talking about strategic and systematic teamwork.
Ooh. Oh,
Imagine like a symphony orchestra.
okay.
But instead of musicians, you have sales, marketing, support, even product development, all working together toward the same goal.
I like that analogy. Each team brings its own expertise and insights to the table. And when they all play together in sync,
Sync, yeah.
you create something truly powerful.
Exactly. And this harmony is essential because the old playbook is gone. The digital transformation has led to more complex sales cycles with more decision makers involved, higher customer expectations.
Absolutely. So it's not just about closing a single deal anymore. It's about building those long-term relationships and really understanding the customer journey from every angle.
You got it. And that's where collaboration comes in. By breaking down those silos between teams and fostering that open communication, you gain a 360-degree view of your customer. This leads to more personalized and more effective sales strategies.
It's like a team of detectives, each with their own clues working together to solve a case.
Perfect analogy.
I try.
The payoff from this detective work is huge. We're talking increased sales, of course,
Of course.
but also improved communication, enhanced productivity, and deeper customer insights.
Okay, let's dive into those benefits a bit deeper. Starting with improved communication. We all know communication breakdowns are a major pain point in any organization. How does collaboration help to bridge that gap?
Well, when teams collaborate effectively, those frustrating silos between departments start to crumble. It's like everyone suddenly has a direct line to each other.
Okay, so less miscommunication, less wasted effort, and more time focused on closing deals. What about enhanced productivity? How does collaboration help teams work smarter, not harder?
Think of it like streamlining a workflow. When everyone is in sync, information flows freely, tasks get done quicker, and bottlenecks are addressed proactively. It's all about working smarter, not harder.
Makes sense. And when everyone's working together seamlessly, you gain another big advantage, right? Better customer insights.
Absolutely. When sales, marketing, and support teams pool their knowledge, you get that 360-degree view of your customer.
Yeah.
You understand their needs, their pain points, their preferences.
You can see the world through your customer's eyes.
Exactly.
It's pretty amazing.
It is. And naturally, this depth understanding leads to increased sales, which is the ultimate goal.
Absolutely. But how do we actually make this happen? Where do we begin building this dream team of collaborators?
Well, a great place to start is with the often complex relationship between sales and marketing.
Okay, here's where it gets interesting. We've all heard those stories about the legendary battles between sales and marketing. How do we turn those two departments from rivals into allies?
You hit the nail on the head. Sales and marketing often operate in completely different universes, but they need each other to succeed.
Yeah.
When they are aligned, they can be an unstoppable force.
So how do we get them rowing in the same direction instead of paddling in circles?
Aligning goals,
Okay.
integrating campaigns, establishing strong feedback loops.
Hmm.
When everyone is working toward those same objectives, magic happens.
So shared goals, a unified strategy, and constant communication. Sounds simple enough, but I imagine it's not always easy to put into practice.
You're right, there are definitely challenges,
Yeah.
but the payoff is worth it. When sales and marketing work together, you create a seamless customer journey, guiding those prospects smoothly from that initial interest all the way to that closed deal.
Okay, so sales and marketing, the power couple of the sales world.
Yeah.
But they can't do it alone, right? What about the other players in this orchestra?
You're right. Customer support and product development are also essential voices in this collaborative symphony. Imagine customer support feeding real-time feedback from the front lines directly to product development.
Wow.
That's invaluable.
So it's really about breaking down those silos between all departments, creating that free flow of information and ideas. But in this digitally transformed world, we can't talk about collaboration without talking about the tools that make it all possible. What kind of tech are we talking about here?
Well, think of it this way. Your sales team needs a high-tech toolbox to collaborate effectively.
Okay.
We're talking real-time communication tools like Slack,
Right.
project management platforms like Trello, powerful CRM systems like Salesforce, even tools that can help record, transcribe, and analyze sales calls for continuous improvement.
Oh, wow. So it's like having a virtual war room where everyone can connect, share ideas, track progress, and learn from each other's wins and losses. But simply having the tools isn't enough, right? It's about using them effectively.
Exactly. You can't just throw a new tool at your team and expect magic to happen.
So what are some best practices for implementing these tools and making sure they're driving that positive change?
First, assess your needs.
Okay.
Don't just jump on the bandwagon of the latest, shiniest software. Choose a tool that directly addresses your team's specific challenges.
Okay. So it's like choosing the right tool for the job, not just going for the flashiest option. What else?
Second, and this is super crucial, invest in comprehensive training.
Okay.
Make sure everyone feels comfortable and confident using those new tools.
Because a fancy new tool is useless if nobody knows how to use it.
Right. And don't try to implement everything at once.
Yeah.
Start small, test the waters with a pilot project, gather feedback, make adjustments before rolling it out to the entire organization.
So it's a more iterative approach rather than a big bang implementation.
Exactly.
Got it.
And throughout this whole process, keep those feedback loops open. Regularly gather input from your team and continuously optimize your approach.
Got it. So we've laid the groundwork for collaboration, from the benefits to the tools, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to people, right? How do we cultivate a genuine collaborative culture, one that goes beyond just checking boxes?
Absolutely. Building a truly collaborative sales team is about more than just software and processes. It's about fostering that mindset, a way of working together that values teamwork, open communication, and continuous learning.
Okay, so it's about creating a culture where collaboration is woven into the very fabric of the team. Let's talk about how to make that happen.
Well, it all starts with leadership.
Okay, so let's talk about the role of leaders in shaping this collaborative culture. What can they do to set the tone and inspire their teams to embrace teamwork?
Well, leaders need to walk the talk.
Yeah.
They need to show their teams that collaboration is more than just a buzzword.
Yeah.
It's a core value that drives success.
I see.
And they can do this by actively promoting open communication, encouraging participation from everyone, creating opportunities for cross-functional projects.
So leading by example, breaking down those hierarchical barriers and making sure everyone feels like their voice matters.
Exactly.
Wow.
And it's also super important to establish those regular check-ins and feedback loops.
Yeah.
Making sure everyone is on the same page, any roadblocks are addressed proactively.
It's like having regular pit stops in a Formula One race, making sure the car is running smoothly and the driver has everything they need to win.
Great analogy.
Thank you.
And just like a race car needs those regular tune-ups, a collaborative team needs ongoing training and development.
Okay, so let's talk about the role of training and development. How do we ensure that our teams have the skills and knowledge they need to work together effectively?
I think it's about recognizing that learning is a continuous process.
Right.
Especially in today's fast-paced sales world. Teams need to stay ahead of the curve, adapt to those new technologies, and constantly hone their skills.
Absolutely.
So this means investing in training programs that focus on both hard and soft skills.
So sales training, product knowledge sessions, workshops on communication and teamwork, even encouraging team members to attend industry conferences and webinars.
Exactly.
Got it.
It's all about creating a team of lifelong learners who are constantly expanding their knowledge and sharing that expertise with each other.
I like that. And we can't forget about leveraging technology for training and development. There are some amazing tools out there that can help teams learn from each other and really improve their performance.
That's right.
Yeah.
Think about tools like Meet Record that allow you to record, transcribe, and analyze sales calls. It's not about Big Brother watching over your shoulder. It's about creating that valuable learning opportunity.
I can see how that would be helpful.
Yeah.
Teams can review recordings of their own calls, identify areas for improvement, and share best practices with each other.
Exactly. And it's not just for individual improvement.
Yeah.
It's about fostering that culture of shared learning. Imagine a sales team that regularly watches recordings of their colleagues' successful pitches, picking up new techniques and sharing those winning strategies.
It's like having a library of sales wisdom at your fingertips.
Right. And the beauty of tools like Meet Record is that they can integrate with other systems like your CRM, so those insights can be shared across departments.
Okay.
So marketing can gain valuable insights into customer preferences, product development can identify areas for improvement. The entire organization benefits from this more collaborative, data-driven approach to sales.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah,
But even with the best leadership training and tools, collaboration doesn't always come naturally, does it?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And recognizing those challenges is the first step to overcoming them.
So, what are some of the common roadblocks to collaboration, and how can we address them effectively?
One of the biggest hurdles is resistance to change. People are naturally creatures of habit, you know? Change can be intimidating, especially when it involves new processes, new tools, new ways of working.
It's like asking someone to trade in their comfy old slippers for a brand new pair of running shoes. It might be good for them in the long run, but there's definitely a period of adjustment.
That's a perfect analogy.
That's right.
And to ease that transition, leaders really need to communicate the benefits of change
Right.
clearly and convincingly.
Yeah.
People need to understand why this change is happening,
Yeah.
how it will benefit them personally.
So it's about painting a picture of a brighter future,
Yeah.
showing people how embracing collaboration will make their jobs easier, more fulfilling, and ultimately more successful.
Exactly. And to make that transition even smoother, involve your team early on in the process.
Hmm.
Don't just spring new tools or processes on them out of the blue. Get their input, gather feedback, make them feel like they're part of the solution.
Create that sense of ownership and buy-in. Rather than forcing the change from above,
Absolutely. And once you've implemented those new tools and processes, the work isn't done.
Right.
You need to provide that ongoing support, answer questions, address concerns, guide your team through the transition.
be a coach, a cheerleader, not just a taskmaster.
Exactly. Another common challenge is simply a lack of communication.
Oh,
It might seem obvious,
yeah.
but in that day-to-day whirlwind, it's easy for teams to become siloed.
Yeah.
Information gets lost in the shuffle, miscommunications arise.
It's like that game of telephone we played as kids. The message gets distorted with every whisper. Except in this case, it's not a game. It can have a real impact on the bottom line.
Absolutely. To combat this, we need to establish crystal clear communication channels
Okay.
and make sure everyone has access to the information they need when they need it.
So building a culture of transparency where information flows freely between teams.
Exactly. And finally, we can't forget about the importance of adequate training.
Yeah.
I know we touched on this earlier,
Yep.
but it's worth reiterating.
Oof.
You can have the best tools and processes in place, but if your team doesn't know how to use them effectively, you're not going to see the results.
It's like giving someone a Ferrari, but not teaching them how to drive stick. They might look cool behind the wheel, but they're not going to win any races.
Exactly. So investing in that ongoing training that keeps pace with that evolving sales landscape, the tools that support it, it's absolutely critical.
Okay, so we've talked about the challenges, the benefits, the tools, the strategies. But what does successful collaboration actually look like in the real world? Can you paint us a picture?
Absolutely. Imagine a potential customer interacts with your company. They receive targeted marketing materials that pique their interest. This is all thanks to those insights gleaned through that sales and marketing collaboration.
Okay.
When they reach out, a sales representative, armed with detailed customer information from various departments, provides a personalized and compelling pitch. After the sale, the customer support team, fully informed about that customer's needs and expectations, provides a seamless and positive post-sale experience.
Wow, it's like a well-choreographed dance where every team member knows their steps perfectly.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
There's the beauty of sales collaboration.
Yeah.
When done right, it creates a seamless and positive experience for that customer, leading to increased satisfaction, loyalty, and, of course, sales.
That's an inspiring vision. But for our listeners who might be feeling overwhelmed by all this, what's one small step they can take today to start building a more collaborative culture within their teams?
My advice would be to simply start by asking for feedback.
Oh.
It could be as simple as asking your team, what's one thing we could do to improve communication and collaboration within our team? Or what's one tool or process that would make your job easier and more efficient?
So opening up that dialogue, showing your team that you value their input
Yeah,
and are committed to building a more collaborative environment.
exactly. And you might be surprised by the innovative ideas and solutions your team comes up with. Remember, collaboration is a journey, not a destination. It's about continuous improvement, adaptation, and a willingness to embrace change.
And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of sales collaboration in 2025. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the challenges and benefits of collaboration to the tools and strategies that can help you build a truly high-performing sales team. But as always, we want to leave you with a provocative thought to spark further exploration. So what's one small step our listeners can take today to boost collaboration within their teams?
Well, think beyond meetings.
Like,
Think beyond those emails.
okay, so like what?
Maybe share valuable customer insight with a different department,
Oh, okay, yeah.
or praise a colleague for a recent win,
Yeah.
or even just asking for feedback,
Oh, yeah.
how to improve a process.
Yeah, I like that. Sometimes those smallest actions can have the biggest impact, it's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's all about creating that ripple effect
Mm.
of positive change. And remember, the journey to a truly collaborative sales culture, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
It is. It's about constantly learning, adapting, and evolving.
Absolutely. And celebrating those wins along the way. Nova, thanks so much for sharing your expertise with us today. This has been a really insightful deep dive into the future of sales collaboration.
My pleasure. It was great chatting with you.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you gained some valuable insights and practical tips to transform your sales teams into those collaborative powerhouses. Until next time, keep those conversations flowing, those ideas sparking, and those sales soaring.